Happy Diwali, guys. In today's episode, I want to piggyback on something that was spoken about in the previous episode, which is that the celebration that we notice um, that's happening outside today is not the real depiction of the spirit of the Diwali festival. And in that video, I was somewhat cruel to what I was seeing, and I failed to recognize the beauty in all of that. And I remember writing to myself just 2, 3 days ago as like a key piece of insight that if you fail to see beauty around you, then you are just ignorant to how much you are responsible for creating that ugliness. And I think that's true. So I want to go with an open mind and discover what truly is beautiful about what I am witnessing right now, which, if I really have to take everything to heart with what I believe and what I preach, which is that the external world is nothing but a reflection of your own internal, then if I'm noticing ugliness that's part of me that I also need to shed. So I'm going to go on this um documentary-esque adventure, you could say, or an investigation, if you will, to uncover what Diwali is all about and the spirit of Diwali, and to see if I can truly find beauty in what I see. And beauty is such a picky thing for me because while everything is beauty, we tend to perceive it as a lackluster means of limiting what truly is beautiful and what is not. And by that, I mean that the reason why something like beautiful and ugliness exist as dualities is because in order for there to be beauty, we have to see ugliness as well. And if you see all the ugliness as beauty and all the beauty as ugliness, and bring both of those worlds together, then you reach that non-dual realm where everything is one and everything is same. So my problem is with the scope of the human consciousness today to see limited beauty in things. And in that way, I also want to emphasize that appearances can be deceiving. The if you look at biblically accurate angels, if you just type that on YouTube, you can see that it's like a very scary sight. It's because the angels have nothing to hide. It's oftentimes the devil that feels the need to disguise himself, to present himself as who he is not. So if you take that mythological aspect into and bring it into unison with what we're observing today, we can see that some of these acts that we're doing feel like acts of beauty, but they're often times the devil masquerading as something that he is not. You know, that is my only problem with this limited perspective of how we choose to conduct our day to day life that I want to change. And I want to bring into awareness to people that, hey, this might not be in our best interest moving forward. It's not to condemn or criticize what you did in the past, but now that you know this and you're brought to awareness about all of these things, how are you going to change your life and progress? Because progression requires you to abandon some things behind. You can't carry everything with you. You have to know when to let go of things. And what are you willing to let go in order to achieve that life that we so dream of when we are thinking of the awakened life? And I don't think most people even have a perspective of what that awakened life is. And I'm not saying that I do, but I feel like through certain experiences in my life, I know that the perspective that I live through on a day to day basis is like a dream perspective, and it's not very depthful, it's quite shallow. And I've broken past those in many states of consciousness through different methods of reaching about those higher states. And and I want to make a commentary from now on the social life as we know it, on society as we know it, to see and to recontextualize some things so that the people that are attached to these ways of being can see that maybe that's not serving them to their highest ideals the way that they imagine it to. So that's my new push, if you will, when it comes to life and to discovering what um, I can contribute to, and sort of build upon, you know, like I want to make many small documentary or social commentary type videos where I just analyze different parts of reality and understand its necessity and its role in shaping culture as we know it. You know, a lot of religions take the use of bells, let's just say, for example, and I want to understand what the history of the bell is. You know, what what it is, what is it about the bell that makes it a universal thing across all of the religions. I want to understand what Diwali is all about. I want to understand these things so that I can become more nuanced to my place in life and my position in life, and hopefully my contribution in uplifting society as a whole. Because I was recently introduced to this new concept of holons and holistic thinking, or holism, and the idea of holarchies, where it's not a hierarchy, but there is a system of order of things. And I am a holarchy, uh, because I am a system of cells, but I'm also a holon in the sense that I am part of a bigger picture. I am myself, but I'm also a part of something. And understanding these holarchical dimensions of life has somewhat been pivotal in this recent shift that I've had in the way that I choose to treat my content as well as my day to day life, where everything is just put together in order and everything is in place. And it's not been that way for a very long time. I think it's the first time in my life where I've actually taken the initiative to make sure that things are put together the way that it's meant to. And I can only attribute this kind of clear headed thinking to the new perspectives that I was introduced to in life. And that only became to be by being open minded. And so the more closed off that I am to something, I realize that the more wrong I was about dismissing everything else. And started to take this approach in life where everything that I choose to do, everything that I actively move towards is all coming from a place of divine love and wanting to make something better, not just for me but for the entire whole on that I am a part of, which is the human civilization, which is a whole on of the earth, which is a whole on of the Milky Way, which is a whole on of the entire fucking galaxy, or the universe, you know. um it's it's astronomical to see what the possibilities of the human mind is. I recently got to understand this perspective that if I was an artist, which in this case would be the universe, and I drew something, I drew that perfect piece of art which is akin to what we are, it's quite a difficult and challenging thing to go off and give that art that we made autonomy and ask that caricature or whatever art that we chose to draw Like if we gave him a pencil and asked him to draw something of equal brilliance, it's quite a difficult fucking thing to do for that artwork that we draw, because it's assuming that it has the intelligence of the master, which it does not. And so this art that we draw has to stumble about and make a lot of mistakes in order to even come close to the perfection that the universe or the master has achieved. So we are that caricature. The universe was the master, and it kind of shaped us to be who we are, right? Like we see our hand, each cell is just perfectly placed, and everything has a certain order to things. And now it's like the universe has asked us, go and create art of your own. And it's a big ask of the universe to do this, because like while the universe has designed us brilliantly, it's still not within our depth and knowledge to master the same way the universe has mastered us. And I think life is all about inching closer and closer and closer to that mastery. And you can only achieve that mastery by being extremely open minded. So that is what I'm going to do. That is what I'm going to discover. Everything is new to me. Everything is a blank slate, and I don't want to move to a situation with pre existing notions or ideas about what something is, because I don't know. That's the whole point. And so, with that being said, thank you for listening to me. This was a short, little festive special episode. A lot of that has been coming out recently. I realize I'm not dressed festively. That's, I guess, a difference. Um, but yes, I will be dressing as something nicer when I'm going and doing this investigation on what culture is, and, the works. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. More videos to come. Just wanted to make a quick video, just sort of being able to challenge myself on the stance that I took yesterday, and kind of realize that maybe this is not serving you well. Maybe you were wrong. And I think that's the whole idea, right? It's just keep open to the idea that you were constantly wrong, and maybe you were. And through that, you find out the right way. And that way, you are not avoiding the truth anymore. You're inching closer and closer to truth, which is kind of bittersweet, because it can sting in the end knowing that you were wrong. But at the big picture of things, recognizing that you were wrong is only making you closer and closer to achieving your ideal self, and for you to become that someone who can positively influence everything around you. So, with that being said, click that like button for me if you like this video. Subscribe if you haven't. Philly Wonka is out. Peace.